Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us to the first live talk by the Oxford University Italian Society. This evening, we have the honor to host the Sky Sports journalist Gianluca Di Marzio. Good evening, Mr. Di Marzio.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Mr. Di Marzio started off his career as a sports journalist for local channels in the province of Padua. Since then, he has traveled a lot and has worked for several sports outputs before becoming sports journalist at Sky Italia. Today, Mr. Di Marzio is one of the most famous and influential journalists in Italy. This evening, after a brief speech on his recent book, Grand Hotel Calciomercato, published by Cairo, we will have 10 to 15 minutes of questions by our committee, followed by questions from you, the audience. So please feel free to leave your questions below, and I will be very happy to read them out. But until then, Mr. Di Marzio, the stage is yours. You may begin.
Hi, nice to meet everyone, everybody. I'll try to speak English in a fluently way. My mother is now an English teacher, so I started speaking English when I was a child, and I'm very pleased to be with you. Not only to speak about my book, Grand Hotel Calciomercato, but about my career, my role in Sky, and what you need to know about my work, my job. Now in Italy, football transfer became something more than only a part of football. Is becoming a social interest. Everybody wants to know about football transfer. What's behind football transfer? How the clubs arrive to buy a player, to sell a player, and which are the problems, which are the difficulties, which are the strange things that are behind the world of football transfer. And so I decided to write this book, just to let people understand that there are incredible things that nobody know about football transfer, that I understood in my job, and I decided to reveal in this book to everybody. I decided to do this book, to realize this book during the lockdown in Italy in March, because for me it was very difficult to have time to concentrate all my job to write a book and to interview all the people that could remember some particular of their football transfer job. And if everybody had told me to go in their cities, in their office, in their house, to reveal me all the situations about their career, probably I would have need 1 year, 2 years to do this book. While during the lockdown, I was at home. I decided to
We have some technical difficulties, but imagine we are back.
You see me again now?
Oh, yes,
Okay.
yes, now
And
everything is
and during the lockdown, during COVID, I was at home. I decided to call all these people of football, managers, coaches, chairmen, sport directors, and they were at home. They were at home, and they were free. They were free of mind. They wanted to tell me all about their jobs, because they were at home. And so I had in my phone 150 interviews of people doing football jobs, and then I started to write the book. And after 3 months and a half, 4 months, I finished my job, And now I'm very happy that Grand Hotel Calciomercato is one of the books that have more success in Italy. Is one of the soldest book in sport. Is the soldest one in sport, and we arranged the deal to sell the rights of the book in Japan. So this book will be translated in Japanese in 1 year. So the first language, the first not Italian language, will be Japanese, and I hope that soon we will join a deal to translate the book in English, in French, in Spanish. I don't know. We received some little approaches by Poland, by Kosovo. I don't know, but it will be a great satisfaction for me that this book could be translated in a lot of languages. And another important thing that I want to tell you, that we received some offers to let this book become a series, a TV series. So probably, I don't know, but the book can become I don't know if a movie or of a series. So for me, it will be an incredible pride to see this book becoming real, with the actors, with the all the thing that can do a movie. No, I don't know if it will be something definite, but we received these offers, so it's very important for me to approach this kind of work that for me is absolutely new.
Thank you very much for your presentation. And I found very interesting the fact that lots of journalists around the world are interested in your book. And I would like to ask you what do Italian journalists have more than other journalists in the rest of the world? What do you think pushed them to approach and understand more about football?
But it's a different culture to approach football transfer news, because for example, I keep in touch with Sky UK colleagues, no, but they used to wait till not till the official announcement, but 1 hour before the official announcement, 2 hours before 2 hours before the official announcement, to say that the deal is done. While for us in Italy, when there is the official announcement, or 1 hour before the official announcement, for us the news is old, because we are talking about this transfer for probably 1 month or 1 week or a lot of days. While in England, no, they wait for the end of the medicals, while in Italy we go to the airport to get the player before the medicals. We follow the player during the medicals, when he arrives at the hospital, and then when he goes when he gets out of the hospital, and before signing, we follow everything. While in England, no, they approach the press office of the club to ask them if it's true something. But we don't speak with the press office in Italy, because the press office in Italy, they would say us that everything is not true. And so we feel comfortable of our news, probably because we have a lot of contacts in the clubs that can confirm us if the news, the deal is true or not. And because it's a different culture. In Italy, we are mad of football transfer. In England or in Spain, probably less. But now they are changing. Now they're changing, and from Sky UK, they call me to know if I have some news about their clubs. They want to know. They are curious. Probably we are more curious than English journalists. I don't know, but I think it's a different culture. It's not because we are better than them. Not. It's not that. It's a different approach to the news. In Italy, we love football transfer and all this world. and abroad they are becoming more interested similar to our culture now.
I understand. Thank you very much. And now another follow-up question. You said for most of your life you have been a live commentator. You talked during TV on TV channels and so on. So I was interested to know, how was the transition from live sports commenting to writing a book?
But it's different. I'm not a writer. I don't want to be a writer in the future. This was like a joke for me because I wanted to do something that can remain in the world, in my life, in the life of my children, that they can say in the future that their father has written a book. But yeah, I don't feel a writer. I feel a TV journalist. I like to stay in a TV studio. I like the camera. I like to speak to the people. I like the immediate contact to the people in television, in the website. I love social because I'm very strong in social fan base because I have I think 2.5 million fan base from Twitter to Instagram to Facebook. So I feel the responsibility of what I say, of the way I say all the sport news that I have. Not only football transfer, but when I go to comment, to live comment a match, or to talk about a Champions League match before pre-match or post-match, or the interviews. It's important for me to use the right language in the interviews, in the way I speak. So because I'm speaking to a lot of people in television and the social, so it's important for me to be always in a right way without being in Italia we say sopra le righe, so I don't want to be over the line. No, for me it's important to stay in the line because I respect a lot people that follow me in the social and in television. So for example, I don't block anybody in Twitter, even they criticize me or they offend.
We have some issues with the microphone.
Sorry.
Oh, okay, now I can hear you back. Sorry, for a second we had some
Giuliano,
issues with the mic.
I don't feel you anymore. I don't hear you anymore. I go out and then I come back. I go out and then I come back.
Perfect, no problem. So sorry guys for this technical issue. And what I would like to ask you, please, is to leave your comments below. We have received many comments from Instagram and other social media, but if you feel that you want to ask questions to Gianluca Di Marzio, please feel free to leave comments on Facebook below, and I will put them up. No problem at all.
Now it's okay. Now it's okay.
So now I would like to ask you more about the book and more about its content. So in particular, in your book, you talked a lot about new and historical transfers. But in your opinion, what has changed the most from yesterday to today in terms of football transfer?
A lot of things. I think the most important change is that everyone can be a source for us. Before, the sources were only players or sport director or chairmen or coaches or people next to the people of the clubs. While now everybody's a source. You can be a source when you are in the airport, when you are in the station. You see the sport director of Chelsea or Juventus having a check-in in the airport going somewhere, you can take a photo, and then you can send me a photo, because it's like you have my mobile number, because you can contact me in the social, because everybody can write me, directly write me in Twitter or in Instagram, and I answer to everybody. I see every message directly, or the guys that work with me. I have a website, so everyone can write in the mail of the website. It's like having my private mail, my private contact. So happened, and in a book I talked about that a guy that was working in a restaurant in England, and he sent me a mail talking about Carlitos Tevez was going was joining the Juventus and signing with Juventus that night in that restaurant with Antonio Conte, with all sport director of Juventus, and he was there, and he saw with his eyes, and he sent me a mail during the night, and I saw this mail in the morning, and then I verified obviously the source, but it was a guy that washed the plates in this restaurant. So everybody can be a source now. So I think the real change is this, and the other change is that everybody think to be a sports journalist in the social network. So there are we call insiders. The insiders that think to be like me, and they say AC Milan is buying Federico Chiesa, and everybody retweet this guy, and everybody talks about Federico Chiesa in AC Milan, while there is nothing about Federico Chiesa in AC Milan. But a lot of people follow this guy because his nickname is, I don't know, Maldini 464. Is like a fantasy nickname, and everybody says, who is this guy? Why he knows that Federico Chiesa is joining to Milan? And they follow this guy. And happened last year when everybody talked about Guardiola to Juventus, but there was nothing. But all the people in the social talked about Guardiola to Juventus. So for us, it's very difficult to be trusted. Sometimes people trust these guys and not trust me. But at the end, when Sarri became Juventus coach, people said, "Oh, Gianluca was right." And when Chiesa went to Juventus, they said, "Oh, Gianluca was right." And when everybody talked about Messi to Inter, and I said, "No, there is nothing about Messi Inter, nothing." And at the end, people said, "Oh, Gianluca was right." So for me, it's difficult in the period before the official announcement of what I said, that people trust the insider and don't trust me. So that's the change, the real change, because before the insiders there weren't in this world of football transfer. Now they are, and for us it's more difficult to work with all these fake news.
Totally. Thank you very much. I've got two more questions, and then we leave the floor to our audience. So please feel free to write your questions below, guys, and I'll be very happy to read them out. So my question is, what do you think is the future of football transfer market in the post-pandemic world? Do you see that we will see more loans, non-permanent transfers? What are your opinions on that?
Yes, there will be more loans. There will be less money, because the clubs are in a very difficult situation, and we don't know what will happen, because the stadiums are closed. People cannot enter to see the matches. There are less sponsors. There will be 2 or 3 football transfer sessions, I think January and the next summer, that will be very, very complicated for the clubs. So less money, a lot of loans, a lot of swap deals. And it's difficult to not only in Italy, but I think everywhere. last summer, Real Madrid and Barcelona, they didn't get new players. Only probably Barcelona 1 or 2, but they solved the contracts of Vidal or Suarez without getting nothing about these kind of players, very important players, because Barcelona is losing, I think, 5 million a day because the museum is closed, the stadium is closed. All the t-shirts of the players, they don't sell any t-shirt anymore. So it's very, very difficult for all European clubs. So I think that the next sessions for us will be very difficult to talk about transfers, because there will be less transfers and without money.
Thank you very much. This is my final question, I promise, and then I leave the floor to our audience. So going back to your incredible career, you're now at Sky, which is one of the most influential channels in Italy. My question is, what do you think has been the most influential experience in advancing in your career? And what would be your advice to incoming journalists?
I don't know. I don't know. I think the most important experience was the World Cup in Brazil. All the World Cups, World Cups I followed with Sky Sport in Brazil, in Germany, or the European Cup in France, because I learned a lot with different people, with different kind of journalists, with journalists of all over the world. So for me, it was very important to see how my colleagues work, to see different ways to live football. I think the Brazilian experience was fantastic because living and working every day from Copacabana Beach was incredible to see all the passions of the people, of the supporters, Brazilian, Argentinian, German that were there. Was an incredible experience. Living with the people, with the fans, not only the match, but the pre-match, after match, seeing the joy when they win and the desperate emotions when they lose. Was the World Cup as a journalist is a fantastic experience, and I wish to everybody to do this job, because I think it's the best job in the world. I'm very lucky. And probably is my family is not so lucky, because there is no time. There is a little time to stay with the family, to have vacancies. We don't have weekend. My wife cannot say to me to go the weekend in the mountain or the weekend in the sea, because in the weekend we work. There are the football match, and then after the championship there is the football transfer. So for us it's very difficult to have holidays, and so probably is fantastic for us. It's not fantastic for our families, but it's like that. So I hope that people that want to be journalists, they should know that family will be difficult to understand probably what we are doing. But I stay with my wife a lot of years, so now she's understanding what I'm doing, and I hope other wives or other girlfriends of the future journalists will understand like my wife.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And actually, the second part of my question, what would be your best advice to incoming journalists? How could they start their careers these days, also in terms of the social media, newspapers? What is your take on that?
I respect a lot of journalists, a lot of schools of journalism, of masters. that was not my way, but I respect the guys that come out from these schools of journalism. I prefer to have the local experience, to start in a local newspaper, in a local website, in a local television, because I before I went to Sky Sport, I worked for 10 years in a local television in Padua. That 10 years were important for me, because I understood how to stay in a studio, how to stay with to stay with the camera, to prepare all the images, all the films, and I understood everything. So when I arrived in Sky Sport, I was ready. So the advice is to be lucky to find an opportunity to start in a local, to start in the field, to play in the field, because all the theory, the theory is nice, but the practice is important. So I hope that who wants to be a journalist has the opportunity to start in a local journal, or in a local website, or in a local radio, or in a local television, to understand it, to understand if that can be their future.
Thank you very much. And this is it from me. Thank you for answering my questions. Now we open the floor to our audience. And first, we have a question from James Magia. Without giving anything away from your book, what is the strangest transfer story or unexpected negotiation that you have ever reported on? Thank you for talking to us, Gianluca Di Marzio.
The strangest. The strangest. There are a lot of strange transfer stories in my book. I don't know if James bought the book or not, but for example, there are two or three situations about some players that arrived in the cities, where they had to sign the contract. They do the medicals, and then after the medicals, they had to sign in the future morning. They slept, and then in the morning they arrived to the meeting with the sport director, and they told no, but tonight I had a dream, and in this dream Jesus Christ told me that this is not my place, and then that I have to go away. And the sport director of the chairman said, "But you're joking? No, it's an excuse." No, Jesus Christ told me tonight, I had a vision. Jesus Christ told me that it's not my place, that I have to go away. So happens in football transfer that I don't know if it's an excuse or not, but happens that some players decide to not to sign in a club or in a team because of these strange dreams, or because the chairman, like in Inter Milan, former chairman Ernesto Pellegrini, he before signing a player, he invited the player to lunch at his home, and after the lunch, he asked the player to sign a little piece of a little piece of paper, like to do how you say autograph, like autograph, yes, to autograph to the chairman's daughter. But that was not an autograph. That was a proof. The wife of Ernesto Pellegrini, they did a process to the signature, to see if the signature is a good signature or not, is a graphologic proof. And if the if the signature, if the autograph was not in some conditions, good conditions for the wife of the Inter chairman, they did not go. They didn't sign the player. So happens that because a player has not a good signature, that is not signing to this club. So these are probably the strangest, but there are a lot of stories like that in the book. So I hope James will buy it, because I hope he will understand Italian. I don't know, but if he understands Italian, he can buy for Christmas the book, and or waiting for the English version.
Thank you very much. I hope you answered James' question. I found it very, very funny. The second one comes from Crescenzo Di Franco. What is the most engaging deal you ever followed?
Higuain from Naples to Juventus, because it was an incredible deal, because Juventus paid all the release clause, 92 million of euro, and because Juventus and Naples were enemies in the market and in the football tournament, and that because nobody thought that Higuain will go to Juventus from Naples, so was difficult for me to explain to the people about this deal. I received a lot of criticizes in my social, a lot, even to my family. Was a very difficult period for me, because people they didn't think that Higuain could go to Juventus, but I was very sure about this deal, and so was very psychologically was very difficult to follow this deal, because there were difficult days till the end of the deal, till Juventus did the medicals, not in Turin but in Madrid. He did the medical to Higuain in Madrid, and then decided to pay the release clause of Higuain. But probably this is the most engaging deal I have ever followed.
That's very interesting. Thank you. The third question comes from Jules. I imagine it's Sarah. It's a friend of mine. She asks, "Hi, Gianluca. What's your take on the increasing influence of agents in football transfers? For example, Jorge Mendes or Mino Raiola?"
The influence of the agents is not only increasing. Is the influence? They influence everything. They influence not only the transfer. They influence the chairmans. They work to the mind of the chairmans, and the chairmans trust more the agents than the sport director. There are two examples in this question, like Mendes and Raiola, that are the biggest now in the world. But I think that the role of the agents will be in the future always more important. Some agents are so important that they bought a club, because they need a club to do all their deals. And Mendes now is like a sport director of a club, because in Premier League he is like the chairman of Wolverhampton. He's not the chairman, but he's like the chairman. He did everything in Wolverhampton with all Portuguese deals, or in Portugal with Sporting or Benfica or Porto, and in Italy too. In Italy there are some chairmen in Genoa or in Parma or in Sampdoria that they do what the agents say. I think is not the right way, because the agents often propose a player only for their advantage, not because there is a real interest of the club to have this player, a technical interest. So I hope that the sport director will not disappear, because the sport director are the person in a club that can let the chairman do the technical deals that the coach want. while the agents want only to do the deals about the players that have to move, not because the coach or the manager asked for that kind of role of that kind of player.
Thank you very much. For the next question comes from the internet. We received it during the week. Michele Tricario, a PhD student, asks, for a few weeks this summer, we Inter fans had the dream Leo Messi. Was there at least a beginning of negotiation, or it was just fantasy football? Can we keep dreaming for next summer?
No, I think it was only a fantasy deal. No approach at all, because the the economical situation of Inter. I think today or yesterday, they published all the balance, and they lost a lot of money. So I don't think they can keep this dream during the next summer. And I think that yesterday Barcelona chairman resigned, no, Bartomeu, and I think that the new chairman after elections will never start his role leaving Messi. I think the new president of Barcelona will start renewing the contract of Messi. Otherwise, he will start in a negative way. So I don't think Messi can leave Barcelona in the summer. Not only to Inter, but I think he will not leave Barcelona. I think he will renew the contract with the new president.
Thank you very much. Next question is from Francesco Paolo Contò, an associate researcher at Cambridge University. He asks, how has your father, Gianni, influenced your career as a journalist?
He transmitted to me the passion of football. I followed him when he was a coach. I followed him when he was a sport director. So I was with him in the stadiums. I was with him in the hotels when he did the deals when he was a sport director. So he influenced everything for me, and he indirectly he influenced even my starting in football transfer role, because when I approached one manager, one people of football, saying I am the son of Gianni Di Marzio. Everybody knew my father. So at the beginning, everybody was I think, I don't know if happy, but everybody answered to the phone to me because I was the son of Gianni Di Marzio. Probably other journalists cannot have this opportunity to start to have these contacts, because sometimes they don't answer to the phone, they don't answer to WhatsApp. So for me, it was important to approach and to let people know I was I want to do this role in journalism. And then my father after never called anybody to give me an anticipation of the deal. Never. He let me do my job my way. So it's only my surname that influenced my beginning in this career, but he never influenced calling people to say, help my son to do this job. Never. My father respected my job, and I love him for that, and for what he did in Italian football, and not only Italian football.
Thank you very much. We have two more questions.
Yes.
We have question from Giulia Bernardini. Oh, sorry, Giulia, I confused you with another friend. Who's the best sport director in Serie A right now?
I'm happy that that even girls love football and love football transfer, so they can buy the book, even girls. I think Fabio Paratici, Juventus sport director, is the best, not only because he works with Juventus, but because he works 24 hours, because he works on 7, 8, 10 deals in the same way, in the same time. He blocks a lot of players. He's everywhere. When he knows that another club is approaching a player, he goes to this player and he started to deal with this player just to disturb them, just to let this club pay more this player. So he's everywhere, and I think he's secret. And if he won nine scudetti with Juventus and 2 Champions League final, and he did a lot of transfer, and he managed to bring Cristiano Ronaldo in Juventus, I think it's because he's the best.
Thank you very much. And we have a final question that we also have received during the week. Crescenzo Di Franco, a master's student at the University of Naples, asks, what has been your main motivation to become a sports journalist?
But the motivation was to follow my father career in sport, but I was not able with the feet, because I was not able to play. But sport, I had sport in my home, in my family every day, in the table. So the motivation was that, to follow the career of my father, to follow in another way, talking and not playing, and trying to say the truth, trying to let people stay with me. To when I go in a Champions League final, or when I go to an important international match, I try to take the people, to get the people with me, or by social activity, or by my my lives, or in the towns, in different places, in different spots of the cities. I wanted people feel to be with me, even if they can fly with me and stay with me in the stadium. But I hope with my job to let people be very, very close to me. And because I think the most important thing is the distance. If the distance is not so big, people will feel a journalist like a friend, like one of them. So I'm happy when people when people see me in the streets and they say, "Ciao Gianluca," like I'm one of the family, no? And that's, for me, is the most important thing.
Thank you very much for answering our question, Mr. Di Marzio. It was a great privilege for us to have you tonight. And thanks for answering our questions from the committee, from our members. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Giuliano. I was very happy to be with you, and I hope to see you physically when we will finish this COVID battle. And I hope to come and see you guys, and stay some hours with you, and to sign your books, so that you can prove me that you bought the book.
Thank you very much. So, guys, please remember to buy Gran Hotel Calciomercato by Gianluca Di Marzio. And thank you so much for being here tonight.
Ciao Giuliano, ciao a tutti. Ciao.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Thank you. Goodbye. Grazie. So thank you very much, guys, for following our interview tonight. In particular, I would like to say thank you to Emma Baldassari, Fabio Spagliardi, our secretary and our IT officer. Also, Giorgia Ramazzotti, Cecilia Corsini, James Bagia, our press officers. And finally, our sponsor for allowing us to continue our activities, in particular, Banca Intesa. So Thank you very much for joining us. I hope you had a nice evening with the Oxford University Talent Society. If you liked our interview, please follow our pages on Facebook, on Instagram. And until next event, goodbye and have a nice evening.